Fans of Sister Wives probably recall Robyn and Kody Brown's meeting, but it appears that Robyn and Kody have been keeping the public in the dark for years. Fans who have followed the relationship from the start will be shocked by the new information. Kody has previously concealed something from his audience. Everyone is aware of Kody's deft use of language. He gradually created a story in the minds of the audience about how he sought polygamy and met his other wives. But it appears that he misrepresented how Robyn came into his life and how they were married. Additionally, it is evident that Kody has been particularly biased toward her. Therefore, it makes possible that he would have made up some of their story to appease the audience. However, what falsehoods did the pair tell? To learn more, continue reading. Kody Brown, star of Sister Wives, recently shared his true desires in life. He talked to his wife, Robyn, about his desire to get married again. He was shown counseling a young man to steer clear of his blunders in a recent episode. Ironically, it appears that he is making the same mistakes. He still has the stamina to try polygamy once more in spite of everything. Additionally, he said that he would like to marry someone nude because he and his wife were leading a boring private life. The reality star went on to say that at this point in his life, he wants a beautiful wife that satisfies all of his needs. She said, "Kay, you just can't be a pig," as Robyn attempted to interpret it as a horrible joke. Robyn already acknowledged that she could have maintained the polygamous marriage with her previous sister spouses, so she shouldn't be upset if her husband wants a new wife. She will have an opportunity to show herself if Kody does get married to someone else. Fans of Sister Wives are probably familiar with the couple's initial meeting tale. Meri Brown was Kody's first wife. Later, Janelle and Christine Brown joined the polygamous union. The Brown family made their debut television appearance in 2010. Kody had previously met Robyn by that point. The pair claims that while on a date with Meri, Kody met his present wife. Additionally, he claimed that they both expressed interest in one another. The rest of the narrative is widely known to fans. He used to spend the entire week waiting to spend the weekends with Robyn, and everyone is aware of this. They didn't meet the way they had described for so long, though, so it seems like they have been lying all along. Sister Wives Goods, Kody's nephew, claims that while he was employed in sales, the pair initially met at a Street George mall. At the time, nobody in the family was aware of it. Additionally, the nephew described Robyn as a midlife crisis mistress and asserted that she had previous experience with polygamy. When he asserted that the show was about bringing on a second wife, he disclosed this. He must have been partly right. From the start, fans were given a different narrative. This is understandable given that Kody wanted everyone to accept his story, which appeared to contribute to the show's popularity. His wife's involvement in the family was facilitated by all of this. Robyn and Kody Brown's relationship has been portrayed by Sister Wives viewers as being based on faith, fate, and divine connection for many years. They have asserted that their marriage served as the spiritual glue that held the Brown family together and that God brought them together. However, a startling discovery has emerged, revealing what many are referring to as Kody and Robyn's worst deceit yet. As it turns out, the soulmate narrative they had been promoting may have been based on deceit, partiality, and a well-kept secret that permanently altered the Brown family's course. The lie was about power, money, and control, not just love. The fissures are clearly visible. Robyn, a youthful, endearing mother of three who appeared to inject joy and laughter into Kody's life, was the new wife, who joined the Brown family in 2010. At the time, Kody was already spiritually wedded to Janelle and Christine and legally married to Meri. However, something changed when Robyn showed up. The polymarriage's once equal dynamic abruptly started to shift. Fans saw right once that Kody's perspective on Robyn had changed. He grinned more subtly. His focus remained longer. Furthermore, his behavior contradicted his declarations that he loved each of his spouses equally. Nevertheless, Robyn and Kody maintained that their love was pure and not a result of favoritism, but rather a component of God's plan. During an early Sister Wives season, Robyn stated, "We all prayed about this. Kody and I are simply doing what we think the Lord desires." However, the "we're all equals" theme began to lose its persuasiveness as the years passed. The first significant change occurred when Kody divorced Meri, his first wife and the family's legal foundation, to legally wed Robyn and adopt her 3 children from her first marriage. Kody claimed in public that the decision was made only for practical reasons to unify the family. In line with him, Robyn told supporters, "It's about paperwork and protecting the kids, not about love." However, this was the first major deception according to fans and even members of the Brown family. Janelle later disclosed in a confessional, "I recall Kody saying he would never prioritize one wife over the others. And he did just that after that. Robyn was no longer merely the newest wife after that, she was the wife. The one with Kody's undivided attention, the financial advantages, and the legal title." When she got the news, Christine even acknowledged crying, stating, "I felt like I just lost my husband. It was always about his picking Robyn, not the papers." However, there were other things that caused concern than the legal marriage. A widening financial gap was developing behind the scenes, which many now think was purposefully concealed. Kody started directing family cash into Robyn's residence, citing practical reasons, because she had small children, according to many people close to the Browns. However, according to sources, it went far beyond. The U.S. Sun was informed by a family insider that Kody and Robyn paid almost $1 million for their Flagstaff home. In the meantime, Christine was having trouble raising the money to move to Utah, and Janelle was renting a place. In a later interview with People, Christine acknowledged the imbalance, saying, "I realized everything was being built around Robyn. Kody was the focus of the family's resources and efforts. Janelle supported her, claiming that despite having obligations of her own, she was under pressure to make a monetary contribution to Robyn and Kody's Coyote Pass land ambitions." One admirer referred to the purported United Family Fund as the Robyn Brown Relief Program. Additionally, Kody's responses to questions about it were vague. He would claim, "I'm just trying to do what's best for everyone." Yet his behavior revealed a pattern of partiality masquerading as leadership. Viewers have seen Kody publicly criticize his prior spouses while defending Robyn throughout the years. Kody accused Christine of being selfish when she dared to express her displeasure. He said that Janelle was disrespecting the family order when she desired financial independence. However, Kody softened when Robyn started crying. "Robyn's just misunderstood," he would remark, hurrying to reassure her and take her hand. It became brutally obvious to supporters that Robyn's tears had more impact than the remarks of all the other wives put together. However, a fresh insider claims that dynamic wasn't coincidental. Rather, it was planned. According to the source, Robyn and Kody would have private talks before filming. They would choose the narrative they wanted to promote, portraying their union as spiritual and unbreakable, while painting the other women as unstable or unappreciative. To put it another way, what viewers perceived as reality might have been a carefully staged performance meant to maintain Kody and Robyn's good reputation as the rest of the family disintegrated. Kody and Robyn's assertion that their relationship is spiritually distinct has always been one of the most contentious aspects of their story. "She's the one I feel the most aligned with in faith and purpose," Kody previously said of Robyn, referring to her as his spiritual equal. However, that wording offended Janelle and Christine. "So who are we?" In one instance, Janelle lost her temper. Remaining spiritual residue. Supporters soon noted that although Kody advocated for equality, his behavior mirrored a conventional monogamous marriage, with Robyn at the center and everyone else on the periphery. Many now think that the spiritual connection claim was a part of the biggest deception of all, which was Kody's way of avoiding acknowledging that he had violated his own plural marriage principles by leaving his other wives. In a recent interview, Christine even stated it bluntly. He insisted that it was about God's will. "No, it has to do with Robyn." Robyn made an effort to keep up her reputation as the kind, peacemaker wife for years. She talked quietly, wept frequently, and stated that she just wanted the family to heal. However, viewers observed a change as the other wives left one by one. Robyn started displaying angry outbursts, yelling at producers, rolling her eyes, and sometimes sobbing on camera because she felt it was unfair that she had to handle the consequences of the family's dissolution. Her admission that she had never desired a monogamous marriage, however, was a significant turning point. "I didn't sign up for this," she remarked with tears in her eyes. "I desired sister wives. I desired a family." Supporters yelled foul. One Reddit user said, "She claims that now, but she kept Kody apart from everyone else for 10 years. You cannot demolish the house and then claim it is no longer there." In her confessional, Janelle couldn't help but reply subtly. Robyn claims she desired sister wives. She probably desired a husband, and she did. What is the largest untruth that has finally come to light, then? The truth is straightforward and heartbreaking. According to people close to the Browns, Kody and Robyn had no intention of getting married in several marriages. The insider disclosed they played the game for the show. They initially believed that continuing the Pauly family would make them appear honorable, as if they were preserving it via religion. However, Kody discovered that all he wanted was Robyn after the money and fame arrived. He simply didn't want to acknowledge it in public. They created this whole facade around spiritual equality, but they were already living as a monogamous couple behind closed doors, the informant added. The other wives served more as image maintenance props. Fans are in shock over this discovery, but it also explains everything that has transpired since. Kody's growing estrangement, his erratic anger, and his selective empathy all fit the description of a guy preserving one marriage while allowing the others to deteriorate gradually. Now that Christine, Janelle, and Meri are no longer there, Kody and Robyn are married in a monogamous relationship. Exactly what they have always said they didn't want. However, spectators are witnessing loneliness and sorrow rather than happiness. Even viewers who sympathize with Robyn's suffering can recognize the irony in the fact that she has been crying in almost every episode as she laments the loss of family. One user wrote, "She's sitting in that huge house alone with Kody, realizing the cost of her choices after spending years saying God chose this." Meanwhile, Kody has started to sound worn out and resentful. In a recent interview, he stated, "I believe this was meant to draw us nearer to God. I just feel empty right now." Once boasting of having multiple families, the guy now appears troubled by his own choices and the prospect that the life he claimed to have built for faith was actually built for ego. The big lie has sparked a renewed uproar on social media. A lot of fans are urging TLC to deal with issue head-on in future shows. One fan said on X, previously Twitter, that they lied to the audience for years. "We observed them covertly playing favors while promoting equality and faith. We are entitled to the truth." Others are more heartbroken and less outraged. Another enthusiast commented, "The children are the saddest part. They were raised to believe that their family was based on faith and love, not on favoritism and manipulation." If the past few seasons of Sister Wives have taught us anything, it's that even in homes where secrecy is the norm, the truth eventually comes to light. The biggest lie that Kody and Robyn told was about illusion rather than marriage. The delusion that there is a divine purpose, equality, and unity. Now that the other women are gone, their perfect couple facade appears more isolated than before. Christine is now married again. Janelle is flourishing as an independent woman. On her own terms, Meri is rebuilding her life, and Robyn and Kody, because they were unable to admit that theirs was never a plural marriage based on faith, they are sitting in their large, empty house, surrounded by the echoes of a family they helped kill. It was a lie-based love story.